Good evening and welcome to your Weld County School District 6 Board of Education meeting. It's Monday, November 24th, 2014. This meeting will now come to order. Will you please join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we tell him there's no speaker?
Roll call, Ms. Brandt.
Makes you crazy too.
Roll call, please, sorry.
Mr. DeWitt?
Present.
Mr. Hafley?
Present.
Mr. Hall?
He will not be here this evening.
Mr. Lydiak?
Present.
Dr. Richard?
Present.
Mr. Richardson?
He will be delayed a little this evening.
Mrs. Solis?
Present.
5 members present.
Thank you. I have a very brief Board of Education President announcement to make, and that's to remind everybody to get the birthday card for the Marine Corps' 239th birthday. Oh, I'm sorry, you missed it. It was celebrated on Saturday, and it was celebrated beautifully by our own Junior ROTC program, the ROTC program, associated with the Marine Corps at Northridge. And I just thought I would say thanks to them because I had forgotten to get a birthday card for the Marine Corps, but our community was well represented by those young people with a great deal of pride and precision. And I thought it was an exceptional experience to see our young people supporting a democratic action. Speaking of democratic action, we have the opportunity to have hearing of persons desiring to speak before the Board of Education. Normally we have about 3 minutes per speaker. It's an opportunity to hear what people in the community have to say. Normally there is not a response from the board unless there is a question. And so we invite those individuals. And the first individual to present is Mr. Chris Jevons. And I've mispronounced your name, I think. You can introduce yourself to me from there again, from Union Colony Schools. Welcome.
Thank you, Roger. I am Chris Jevons,
It's close.
and I currently have the privilege of serving as president of Union Colony Schools Board of Directors. Thank you for the opportunity to come by tonight. I wanted to just take a moment to make you aware, if you're not already, that we today filed an application with the district to renew the elementary school charter that you were kind enough to grant us 3 years ago. Any new program like that takes a little while to find its feet and operation run smooth, but we're very pleased with how that school has started out. We're very pleased with the results we're achieving with the kids right now, and we look forward to the opportunity to keep those children in the program all the way through the 12th grade. One of the things that we're interested in doing and discussing, and we've had conversations initially with Wayne and Kathy, one of the things we very much would like to do is combine our 2 charters into one. We believe that there are huge efficiencies that we might realize by doing that. It's a little bit inefficient to run, in effect, 2 programs, but we run operationally 1 program, and we're looking for an opportunity to combine those. So I would like to invite any of you, if you have an opportunity, and the rest of this year or in January sometime, come by the school, take a look, see what we're doing. We're very proud of what's going on. Our diversity in our student population is improving, and we're very comfortable and pleased with the way things are turning out. So I look forward to cooperation and a speedy process, hopefully, to get this done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. Appreciate it. The next speaker is Ms. Therese Gilbert. Welcome.
Thank you again for letting me speak to you tonight. And I came before you 4 weeks ago with information regarding some leaks at the Northridge Wells out by Kelly Farm. And I just wanted to return now with some more information to clarify that position. I felt like it really was misrepresented in the, not by this board, but in the media, that my group, we were fear-mongering or misrepresenting facts, when if you looked over the transcript, it was very clear that we said from the FLIR report that the VOCs, you could not specify nor quantify what was leaking, but that we had concerns about these leaks, how long they had gone on, whether they were just part of the operation or something was going wrong. I will leave you with the reports that we got from CDPHE and the COGCC that, in fact, there were 2 separator tanks that were leaking, but the fumes that you saw coming from those condensate tanks were actually an approved leak. This is partly because the producer is not using state-of-the-art technology, and the thief hatches had to vent before they could pull product off. And in fact, you can expect those leaks multiple times a day. Now, if this people have a response to that that's kind of apprehensive and fearful, that might be appropriate, because our group really feels like these wells should not be drilling so close to where people live if they're not using absolutely state-of-the-art, the best control technology possible. It does exist now that the VOCs can be taken off without venting and put in the sales stream. They're actually sold as the liquefied gases that they are. So my point to this is that when we're negotiating these leases as a surface owner, you have some options. You can negotiate a protected lease. That would ensure that state-of-the-art technology is used for this, so this kind of venting doesn't occur. You can also negotiate a better location for wells so they're not right close to our schools and where we're living. And I'd also like to suggest in the paper that it was suggested there's this kind of windfall that we're getting off these wells, the school district, and $2 million over 5 years is not much at all. We're in the heart of the Wattenberg. I know that my group and most of the members of Welder and Waters, we were mineral rights owners, and we did not want to sign our mineral rights, but we were on the verge of being forced pooled, and we didn't want to this summer become liable in these wells. And so we did seek counsel, and we were able to get over $9,000 per acre and a 20% royalty. Now, I know these leases that UNC signed, and I assume the school district was similar, were $500 per acre signing bonus and a 16% royalty. Given that we're taking the risk on, we're not really getting much profit, and we're in the heart of the Wattenberg, and we're public schools, and we need the money. So we can renegotiate for a protected lease if these wells are going to be next to schools, and certainly if we're going to bear the risk, we should at least be getting more profit. So thank you for your time, and I'll leave you a package.
Thank you. The next speaker is Ms. Sarah Barwinski, please.
Good evening. It's good to be here. My name is Sarah Barwinski. I live very near Northridge High School, and I'm also serve on the Governor's Blue Ribbon Commission on Oil and Gas, which was created to try to have sensible and responsible solutions about oil and gas development, especially as it moves closer to homes and schools. I'm particularly concerned that you be aware of a proposed site behind Center Place, very near Greeley West High School. I believe you have a map. These sites are less than 360 feet away from homes and apartments, about 400 feet, I think, from the property line of the school. If these were submitted to the state today, they would not be approved. They were submitted a day before the 500-foot setback went into place. And to part of what the conversation and the debate is now is that even a 500-foot setback for a multiple well pad with, and this one would have 12 tanks, is not an adequate setback. And you have material that I've left with you that you can read a little bit more about that. But today I also wanted to say that in addition to concern about that location being there at all, is that the operator is suggesting that the construction traffic and the haul traffic of flammable materials go on 24th Street right by Greeley West High School. And the Greeley City Traffic Engineer has said no, that that's not appropriate and wanted to reduce the intensity, but it is actually much more convenient for the operator, and they're thinking that it isn't a problem. And I want to encourage you to let them know that it is a problem. One of the things that they've highlighted is that, well, you know, student parking is on the north side, so that's not, you know, too much traffic there. If you know anything about this site, those kids go through the north lot, through the south lot, cross 24th so they can go to Burger King without having to get on 35th. It really is a heavily trafficked area, especially with all these apartments coming out. What Synergy is saying is that, well, we won't do it during peak times. But you know that with high school students and activities, there's activities before, during peak times, in between peak times, and after. And we also know that they contract these services out and haven't been able to guarantee that construction traffic and haul traffic actually abide by any rules that they might suggest. The other thing that Greeley has, that Synergy offered the school district is that, of course, you don't want to have this happen during the school year, if at all possible, and you would prefer Christmas or summer break. Well, the reason they're pushing these is they don't have to get these minerals from this location. There are other locations they can access these minerals on, but their leases, including the ones with you, expire in the summer, and they need to drill in order to secure and hold that lease. And that means they would be drilling during the school year. I want to suggest to you, the worst thing in the world wouldn't be for those leases to expire and for you to renegotiate, as Ms. Gilbert talked about, but also that there are other locations. And I will conclude just by saying the other driller in town, Mineral Resources, also had some proposals that were approved within 350 to 500 feet from a home. They worked with the community, responded to concerns, and moved those wells, one into an industrialized area and another into an area that had over 1,000-foot setback and was able to have a tankless drill site. So there are options that are available. This isn't about being against oil and gas. I know there has been benefits to the community. It's about being for appropriate locations, protections for students. Dallas, Texas is a vibrant energy center, and they require a 1,500-foot setback. So I would encourage you to urge the city to find a more appropriate location, and certainly to agree with the city traffic engineer that this is not an acceptable haul route. Thank you very much.
Excuse me, thank you very much for these, I appreciate it. That's terrifying. Pardon me, Ms. Barwinski, for that interruption. I do appreciate it. The next item on the agenda is the work session report. Lindsay?
Human Resources Coordinator Annette Overton began the work session by facilitating a planning session and discussion regarding the draft of the strategic plan. The district's mission, vision, and value statements were drafted. Board President DeWitt and Superintendent Wayne Eads led a discussion on revising the superintendent search brochure. Board members discussed changes to the agenda mapping document and reviewed upcoming board calendar events. Board members had the opportunity for open comments and updates on their district activity. And that concluded the work session.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the agenda. This is an action item, and I will entertain a motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call. Lindsay?
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. The next item is also an action item. It's the approval of the consent agenda, and you'll find that motion on page 8 if you need to go there, but I would entertain that motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve items as presented on the consent agenda and authorize the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Hafley?
Aye.
Mr. Lydiak?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mrs. Solis? Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.